started recording. So since last time we met up, how have things been going? Anything new developments? Any
Uh,
questions that have come up?
it's been disheartening, man. Um,
Mm,
I've I've lost SR. Um, I don't know. I don't even know. This is a loss. Um, I mean, this weekend I thought to myself, I just, I don't know. You get to that point where I had to stop playing because I I wasn't tilted, but I was kind of depressed about it. I just
mm,
yeah, because I feel like I'm doing a lot of the right things. Of course, I just don't think I'm good enough to carry a team by
uh-huh.
myself. And I'm not saying that they're bad players. And that I'm such a great player. I'm not saying that at all. It's just
Mm,
I just don't think I'm good enough to, you know, if the team isn't quite as good as the other team, I don't think I'm enough to put it over the top and
mm.
get a win.
Which the goal is to get to that point.
Yeah, right.
All right. So just something to keep in mind if I haven't already said this, but just make sure that as you're going through and you're taking all the advice I'm giving you, um, it's don't try to apply everything at once because then you might just get overwhelmed. Um, make sure that you're working one or two things at a time per game and you're focusing on those. And then once you get them down as habits, then you can move on to other things. But if you're trying to focus on 20 different things at once, then you're going to get overwhelmed and not know how you should be actually playing. So um, things like positioning. I believe we've talked about like tap firing
Tap
sort of
healing.
tap healing, yeah. So things like that, you work on like two things there. You focus
Mhm.
on those things, and then once you feel like you've mastered them, then you can move on.
Yeah, and I took a break yesterday too. I didn't play
Mm.
yesterday. That I think is helpful. Not to, I don't know. I don't want to burn out on the game. My God,
Uh,
but I know people play it for hours and hours a day. So I don't know how you don't burn out doing that.
mm.
My will made real.
Did I just launch a healing orb or a damage orb there?
Pretty sure you did the damage.
Okay.
My
You had the damage. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe I
defend
wasn't paying attention actually.
objective
Maybe I assumed you were gonna throw damage.
A.
You
My
threw
will
damage.
made
Okay.
real.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like the diva just gobbled it up.
See you later.
Yeah. I knew there was a diva there too, but what are you supposed to do? Just
Did you know that there's a diva there? Because she's through a wall.
oh, maybe I didn't know.
Yeah.
I could see it now, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I cast this forth.
Yeah. Make sure you're just bouncing it off the ceiling so that it's not going into space.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because if you bounce that off, then it
Yeah.
just comes back down at them.
Right. I think I was
Out of here.
concerned about hitting the
This is
person
my
in there,
will.
but yeah, hitting it on the ceiling would be the way to go.
Hitting it like one on your teammate.
Yeah.
Uh,
Go ahead.
yeah, because it won't actually hit your teammates. It'll just go through them.
It was a there was a wasn't there a DPS in there when I launched that damage orb instead of bouncing it off the?
But
Yeah. Okay.
then, best case scenario, you're still hitting them with the damage, right?
Right. Right.
So throwing it into them really doesn't make a difference here. Oh, I went keep going too far back. Yeah, there was somebody there momentarily. It looks like, or
I
no,
cast this
no, it was
forth.
just it looked like it was just like Junkrat spam or something like that.
But I should have bounced it off though.
Yeah.
That's that's something else. That just clicked into my head.
I'm
I
out
mean,
of here.
sometimes all it takes
This is my will.
Yeah, make sure we're aiming these orbs a little bit better. I think that's three now. Or two. Sorry, two of them didn't actually go where we
This will
intended them to
improve your
go.
condition.
uh,
That fade right there, not necessarily necessary. um, 200. We have 200 HP. Only buddy who is actively shooting at us is a Sombra who is up here. From up here, she's not going to be doing a whole lot of damage, and all you have to do is just move out of her line of sight. So the fade usage here just means that now we're down a cooldown. Okay, we're out of range of our right click there, so we we did good, but we moved into the
I
range.
will
You just
draw
need
the
to
strength
assess
from
that
your
faster.
body.
Right.
Tactical visor activated.
Okay. Another time where fade probably wasn't necessary. Um, you don't always need to be moving places. I didn't see anything wrong with where you were positioned before. You didn't no problem standing right here.
I will draw
Okay.
the strength from your
Right.
body.
No reason to use it. Okay, so your tanks are backing up to the right. Backing up to
Mm-hmm.
the right with them is probably the best option to go here, but we actually fade away from them. So you see where the bulk of our team's at. Bulk of our
Yep.
team's on the right, and we fade away from them. So this is probably even worse off than where we were at before. So unless we needed to get over here to help Junkrat, fading over here doesn't do anything but separate us from our team and use a cooldown when it wasn't necessary.
Right.
Okay. Was our goal there to maybe try to spy check for the Sombra?
Ugh.
Or spy checking meaning like decloaker. Because we're right clicking air here.
I, okay. I don't. No, it wasn't that.
Yeah, so there
I don't think it was. I don't think I was trying to decloak her, but
yeah, just make sure that we have a target in mind while we're going for um any right clicks or left clicks. We always want to have a target in mind. It's like that's called target acquisition. You look as soon as you're done doing one thing, you're looking for somebody to be shooting
right click.
next. So if nobody on your team needs healing, you need to be acquiring a target to be right clicking rather than just kind of
Get
holding
into
it down.
position. I require
Right.
assistance.
I don't
Yeah,
know what
so
I'm doing there.
we looked away from Orion here, so we come over here, right clicking the Sombra,
Mm-hmm.
staring in the back line instead of looking at a front line here.
Get into
We heal
position.
the soldier, do a quick little 360 there, looking at a wall, and then Orion's dead. Okay, so here, big thing here is that we're looking in the wrong spots, and then that means that we're not acquiring information. Okay, so here, do we gain information by staring at this wall?
No.
Okay, do we gain information by looking this way?
Yeah.
So while we're healing the soldier, and
Get into
without doing a
position.
turn like this, okay, we should be looking at our front line this whole time. We want to be
Yeah.
making sure that we're, unless we're just damaging the Sombra a little bit, we're always looking at the front line because we don't want to be spending too much time looking at the back, even at the Sombra. We don't want to spend too much time looking at the Sombra because then our Rhine dies like this without us being in range of healing him. So we don't pay attention to our front line here, and that lack of information means that now we're at a big disadvantage because we're down a Reinhardt.
Assistance.
Yeah.
Okay, here, and then look at what's happening next. Here, we're isolating ourselves from our team. Where's our team holding?
At the right, left of the choke,
Yeah.
sort of.
So we're still holding up, and even though we're down a Reinhardt, we got another pick. But what we did was we went in and we fell backwards and we isolated ourselves from the team. So now our team doesn't have us for about like 5-6 seconds. So
You know what I think I'm doing, and I'm glad you're talking about this because I used to play off tank a lot, right?
hmm,
And I think did she touch the point, the Sombra? Did it make a noise?
I can check.
An audible? I'm just curious because if I heard a noise, then I'd probably go check the point
Get into
as an
position.
off tank. But
Which you can also know if somebody's on top of it by just looking at the top. So without having to go physically move yourself to point, you can just glance at the ticks on the point A, and then that'll
okay,
show you if they're
right,
capping. Because if you see the
right.
and it also makes
There's
sound.
nothing there. Yeah,
Yeah. So if you
yeah.
see that
I
somebody's on
require
there,
assistance.
then that will show it on the tick. Okay, so here I feel like we just spent too much time looking for the Sombra, and then that meant that we had very little time where we spent assisting our team.
Yeah.
Yep. So we separated our team. By the time we made it over them, both our DPS had died. which meant that if we were with them, then both DPS had the potential to not die there.
Yeah.
Okay, so big thing there. Too much time spent on the Sombra. It's okay to look for the Sombra and damage her, make sure she's going away. But unless she's decloaked and she's looking at your team, you probably shouldn't spend too much time just kind of looking around for her. Okay, and then we also want to make sure that we're paying attention and we're staying with our team and we're paying attention to where our team's at. Because we
That changes
weren't
my
paying attention to where our
thinking.
team's at, and we also isolated ourselves to where we weren't with our team.
The power of destruction.
Hey, good job setting the back up there. Damage orb is probably not necessary because of the fact that we have our ultimate. So that damage orb, if we're getting damage off from it, doesn't benefit us. And the
Right.
only thing that's gonna do is
Charge
actually,
the really vault.
yep, exactly. It's just gonna give them ult charge. So when we have our ultimate, just make sure that you're not continuously spamming damage orbs unless the fight has started.
Okay.
So no more spam orbs.
Gotcha.
Objective lost.
Almost ready.
New defense point. Objective B.
This is
So
my
again,
will.
it's good that you're getting into the habit of throwing the orbs, but yeah, you have to make sure that when you have your ultimate, then you're not throwing. Then you're
See,
not throwing it out.
it's stuck in my head. You saying just do something. Always be doing something. Right. And when I'm not thinking, I'll just throw an orb. So yeah. So yeah.
You always want to be doing something, but sometimes that just needs to be collecting information. It doesn't always need to be damaging something or healing something. Though if you're in the middle of a fight, you always want to be damaging or healing something. But if the fight's not happening and you already have your ult charge here, then it's not benefiting you to be attempting to damage something.
Surrender to my will.
I'm out of here.
Okay, good job throwing that damage. I don't know if this is something I talked about, but that's good job throwing that damage orb before you went for your coalescence. So that meant that you used your cooldown, and then you actually got the extra damage value off of that. So you threw your damage orb here, and then ulted immediately afterwards. That's a good habit to get into. 'Cause that added in extra damage, which means that we get the baby diva there.
You did tell me, and I've also seen it from Stylosa. Stylosa does a lot. Yeah.
The power
You probably
of
know what I'm talking
destruction.
about.
Yeah.
But it never sticks in my head when he says it for some reason. It only stuck in my head when you said it.
Allow me to repair the damage.
Okay, try not to get right up next to him. You're walking towards the Junkrat.
Yeah.
You have a 20, I can't remember, it's 20 or 25 meter range on your right click. So you
Allow
can
me to repair the
hit people
damage.
from a very decently mid-range distance. And Junkrat's gonna thrive if you're getting right up in his face, because it's gonna make it a lot easier for him to hit his shots if you're right up in his face. So here, we see the Junkrat, and we're walking into him.
Yeah.
We're walking towards him, okay? Just kind of sit at that medium range. You want to evaluate when you're going up against different people in different duels. What are their strengths? What are my strengths? If we're going up against close range characters, we want to stay out of their range. If we're going up against long range characters, then we want to get within their range. So they have a sniper, and we end up finding ourselves for some reason dueling the sniper. So for some reason you find yourself in their backline against the Widowmaker. You don't want to be playing at a range. You want to be up in her face because it's going to make it harder for her to hit shots. On the other hand, if you're up against a Reaper or a Junkrat, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to try to play at a range against it.
Help me. You seem in need of aid.
You know what's funny is all this stuff seems like common sense to me.
Yeah, I mean it all is. It's just about making it a habit so that the common sense kind of sticks and you don't really have to think about it. Because it's easy to think about it after the game's done, but not so easy to when you're in the middle of the game.
Shohei Mahou.
Get over here and drink up.
All over me.
And the funny thing about common sense is sometimes it's not that common for people to know what you're talking about.
This is my will.
¿Qué onda?
Look how you're splitting yourself from your team again. So, be heal Mercy, but what if you were just over with your diva and your soldier, and then that means that now you have 3 people grouped up rather than 2 and 2. And then if you're over with your soldier and your diva, that probably encourages your mercy to go over there too because
Oh,
she sees that you're all grouped up. So
right.
in this situation, make sure you're with kind of the big bulk of your team, not kind of off on your own, because 3 people together is going to be better than 2 and 2.
Right. And also, why am I there with Somber right there? That's, I mean,
Well, I mean, she just decloaked, so you didn't know that she was there
okay.
until right now. So she's just gonna
Oh,
appear.
damn it.
You got
Your
EMP'd.
strength ebbs.
Enemy seen.
Okay, again, so
Yeah.
as we just discussed, you're separated and then that results in them dying. So make sure you're staying with the main bulk of your team, or at least the people that you're going to need to be healing. So a lot of the time that's going to be your tanks. You want to be sticking with your tanks, but if your tanks are dead, or if your tanks are off doing their own thing, then you want to stay with as many people as you can, because you're going to get value when you're with them. Okay?
Right.
If you're over here, we're not going to be getting much healing done because it's out of our range and we're not with anybody.
This will restore you.
Heroes never die.
Into the island.
All systems checked out.
Tactical visor active.
Okay, target acquisition, and then also paying attention to kill feed and what's in front of us. Okay, we see Diva throw a bomb in the air, bomb comes down, we are shooting at Sigma, Sigma dies. Okay, we're gonna see here in a second that we don't realize that Sigma dies. Sigma's dead in kill feed. We saw Sigma disappear off our screen. We're no longer damaging Sigma. And then look at where we're continuing to hold our crosshair here.
All
Yeah.
systems checked
Okay,
out.
we're looking for the
Visor
Sigma.
activated.
We're trying to find the Sigma.
Get
And
in
he's not there.
position.
Okay, so make sure we're realizing that when we see the red blob disappear, that means that they died or they got away. Okay, so once we don't see the red blob anymore, we're looking for a different red blob. So that's a target acquisition. If someone dies or somebody gets out, we should no longer be looking in that area. So as soon as we can't see Sigma, because either he died or maybe he just got booped really far away and now he's out of our line of sight. We need to be looking at something else, not holding our crosshair in the same spot. So we want to be looking for the next blobs to be shooting at. So we're kind of looking around as soon as we see that the Sigma's not there anymore. So we see that he's not there. We're immediately looking to acquire another target, which is what target acquisition is. We're looking to acquire another target as fast as possible.
Regenerating your cellular structure.
Why did I do that?
Okay.
This is the junk
It's
rat.
like yeah,
Regenerating
it's
your
possible
cellular
Shunka. So
structure.
I think we got scared of the sentence spam. So there, again, just kind of look how far you're separating yourself from your team. You're a close range character. You want to be in close quarters with your team when it comes to healing. You want to be staying with your team. And even if we start getting shot by Junkrat or by Zen or anything, the most we have to do is just immediately, like we walked out here and got shot, we just back up around the corner and then maybe fade over here or something like that. Fade to the next cover, but we've backed super far up
Yeah.
rather than just ducking behind cover. A lot better with your tap healing so far. You're not running out of resource nearly as often as you have in the past. I don't know if I've seen you run out of resource so far this game. And if I recall, last time we went over one, you ran out of resource like maybe 5 times in a round. So big improvement there. We're charging it up and not
Using it all.
draining it. Yeah, not draining it as often.
I cast this
Okay.
forth.
Again, look at how far we are from any form of fighting here. Okay, they're all on the left. Our Ryan's down lane. We're sitting on point. So either we want to be pushing left to heal them, or pushing with our Reinhardt to heal him. Okay, but from where we're at, we cannot heal anything that is most definitely outside of our healing range, which means that we're not going to get value, and we cannot see any people to be shooting at. So we essentially just isolated ourselves from the fight that's going on because of the fact that we're not close enough to our team. So I'd say a big thing so far this game that is probably the biggest like improvement point here is that you are constantly away from your team and you want to be with your team.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so Ryan dies because we're not with him.
Mhm.
Diva gets Team X because we're not with her. Which in that case, we'd probably have to choose one or the other, but still one of them survives there.
Right.
My will.
Okay.
Surrender to my will.
So
Help me.
So now I've got all these people dead on my team, and I'm using coalescence.
yeah, so I was about to say that.
My
So
will
we're
be
down
Moira.
when you're down when you have a baby diva, I consider that like a half a person.
Right.
So like when you're just doing the quick math, just go okay 1.5. We're down 1.5. So, we're down 1.5 as we've discussed previously.
Mhm.
If you're down 1.5 people, that means that you are very close to losing that fight, and you probably want to group up. On the right side, you have a very close spawn, so your guys are going to get back very fast. Though it might be a good idea to play passive at this point because we're down so many people. So if we're playing passive here, that means that they're gonna have a lesser chance of killing us.
My will.
Right.
Surrender to
Okay,
my
so we go for
will.
the
And
coal,
Owen's
Help me.
Yeah.
which that's fine. Though it might have just been better to wait till they walked in to do that.
Yeah.
Get ready for a
Reinvert Boher.
Okay. So here we're looking for a target, and we come over here.
Reinvert Boher.
Where our crosshair does a little flippy flip here, where it just doesn't go anywhere of use. Okay, so
Right.
where's the only other place besides
Reinvert
here
Boher.
that they could be, and where have we seen our team previously fighting with them?
In the just to the left there.
Yeah, the alleyway. So
Yeah.
we essentially take our camera and we drag it to the left, and then do a quick skip over the alleyway. Skip, and then we fade to dodge out the with the tire, which is really good actually. That's a again I'm seeing a bit of improvement in different areas here. I don't know if previously you would have been dodging ultimates like that. Good job dodging that out. But we kind of skip we skip our crosshair over the place where we know that there's most likely to be people at.
I will rebuild you.
I'm out of here.
What the heck?
Sorry, I had like a 1 second zone out looking at your abilities. You're Ryan. Okay, so here again. So big thing here is we see Orion pushing forward and we don't push with him. So Ryan's
Right.
walking
I
forward,
will
swinging.
rebuild you.
We want to be walking forward with him, but then he gets out of our line of sight and dies immediately. Okay. Other thing here is probably you'd get a lot of value out of throwing a damage orb down that corridor. You throw a damage orb
Right.
that corridor, it gets a lot of value.
Yeah.
An annoying sound.
Okay. Yeah. So I think what I was thinking is I'm not following him down there. That's. I mean, honestly, that's probably what I was thinking.
So
But what you're saying, and it makes sense, is to follow him in there, throw a damage orb, and heal him as much as you can, and use the corner for
yep.
shielding.
So if you have your Ryan feeding,
Yeah.
then you lose. If one person feeding is, or sorry, one person one person feeding is a throw. If you have 6 people feeding, then that's a strategy, and you're actually playing the game correctly because you're sticking together. It's better for you as to be working together as a team and doing bad strategies as a team than to be off on your own doing whatever. So if you let your Reinhardt walk forward there, he's gonna get instant blown up. If you walk forward with him, then worst case scenario, you just need to fade back to your team. Okay, so stay with him, and then that allows him to get more value, and then you can get back pretty much like pretty easily if just with fade. Now, if Reinhardt decided to, just for an example here, let's say they're all in spawn here, and our whole team's kind of holding here, and then your Reinhardt decides to charge headlong all the way down in here, and he got here while you guys are all over here. Okay, so Reinhardt for all intensive purposes, is dead. He's no longer with us. Even though he's still alive, we know that he's gonna die. No matter if we attempt to go in, we will not save him, and it will result in us dying. So that is a situation where if we see somebody who is hard feeding and we know that we can't save them, don't attempt to. But if our Reinhardt is right next to us and we have our whole team with us and we're just kind of peeking forward a couple inches, then that's fine because it's safe. We have our team with us and we can kind of assist each other. Okay, so it's a different scenario. You kind of have to evaluate it on a situation by situation basis.
Right.
Allow me to repair the damage.
Everyone, drink up.
Okay. Probably. I mean, of course, we've. Yeah,
yeah.
probably. I mean, like we've gone over orbs a ton, but damage orb there, other than healing, you probably can guess why.
Allow me.
I mean,
I'm
at this
getting
point,
better though.
yeah, you're getting a lot better. I mean, there's a lot of things that I talked about last time that I don't need to talk about anymore, as often.
Power of destruction.
All right, so
I'm trying to get to the corner. But whatever. It happens.
yeah, so we kind of just mess up our movement there. Gets caught out. All good. Oh, whoops! 20 seconds ahead on accident.
New beginning. New thinking. Regenerating your cellular structure.
Now, why would I use Fade to do that? To get to my team quicker?
The main. I wasn't really looking at your fate here.
Regenerating
I
your
was
cellular
thinking,
structure.
who do you have
New
walking right side
beginning.
that you can maybe walk with?
New thinking.
Ah,
Regenerating
Ryan.
your cellular
Yep.
structure.
So we go the opposite way, which now that means do we have Ryan's protection?
no,
Does Ryan have our healing?
no.
Okay, so we just negated two valuable assets that can help our team here.
It's so simple.
This will
Yep.
restore you.
And of course Ryan now is ahead of us, but it's very possible that in other scenarios he gets like they stuff him and he's stuck over here. So, and then in that case you're not in his LOS, so it's still walk out with him.
Right. Oh, that totally makes sense.
Get into position.
I get upset when I'm tanking and people don't use my shield. If I'm, so I don't get upset, but I'm like, why aren't they using my shield? Yeah.
So here we could have killed two birds with one
There he
stone.
is.
We're low, and then we also see that we need to be paying attention to our Diva's health here because our Diva does get critical. So to kill two birds with one stone, we use our fade here. If we fade just over here and just turn around, then that means that we're over closer to Diva where we can heal her. So we can possibly do that here. Instead, we just fade backwards into this wall, and then that means that Diva's out of mech.
Get into position.
In a second, we get trapped.
Tactical visor activated.
Just be looking for opportunities where you can fade closer to your team if you need to. There are situations where fade as mobility is helpful.
Yeah. I think I need to be careful using it as well. I'm healing myself when I launch out of work.
What do you say? About
When I launched that orb, I was healing myself.
yeah.
But
That's completely fine. 50 HP, not a health you want to stay at.
No.
And
Allow me
50
to
HP
repair the
means that
damage.
somebody just tickles you and you're dead. You don't want to stay at it within the tickle range.
Injured again.
Yeah, I knew something was behind me.
Surrender to my will.
Not accurately understanding how the fight's going. They have 3 people virtually in spawn, 3 people at choke. We're gonna get
Any
kind of any value. Yeah, not gonna get any value out of that coalescence. So pay attention to kill feed. Pay attention to where people are on the map, because that means
Kill
that
feed is
coalescence.
a big thing.
Yep, kill feed is a big thing because kill feed means that we can evaluate if we're winning or losing a fight without looking at the fight. Basically, we can see it anywhere on the map. If we're dead, if we're live, if we're behind the corner. Whereas knowing where people are at just by staring straight ahead of us becomes much more convoluted because of the fact that we can't see through walls, or we might be
Right.
dead. Okay, so kill feed is a big one where you can collect information anywhere, anytime.
And now I'm separated from my team again.
Yep. Oh, so I have to sneeze here. Okay, I went away. So, anyways, yeah, separated from our team. We're really far ahead of our tanks here. Sigma turns and rocks us. We're dead. Tracer blinks in on us, starts shooting at us. We are like it. Kind of best case scenario here. We just need to use our fade to get back to our team.
Do I
Worst
have
case
fade up?
scenario. Oh yeah, you do. Worst case scenario, we end up dying from this. So either case, don't want to be there. Yeah. So that's best case scenario. We get out just by using fade, but now we don't have fade as a cooldown. Whereas we could have gotten the same value just from sitting here
Right.
in a less
Yeah.
dangerous scenario or situation.
Get into position.
We have our full bar of healing. Diva's not far away from us. We can just regular healer up, and then this kind of we do a little dance here with our we kind of hesitate with it.
Get
Oh,
into position.
I think I skipped past it, but we hesitate with it here. We pull it out and then we cancel it and then pull it out
Get into
again.
position.
So instead we just heal, make sure we're paying attention to our Reinhardt's health too.
60 seconds.
Don't be tap healing at this point. Okay, critical HP people, we're
Right.
not tap healing. It looks like we're throughout this
Get
point
into
where we're
Healing.
position.
Yeah, throughout this point where we're healing the Rhino, it looks like we're pausing once in a while.
60 seconds remaining.
Okay, so we just want to make sure that when people are critical, we're just hard healing.
Tell me how this feels. I require assistance.
Man.
So not paying attention to Reinhardt. You shooting kills is not a big priority. Shields will also not get you any resource, just so you're aware. So that's not going to give you any value in that sense. It has to be damage to a person. So just make sure that you're sticking with your Reinhardt. Okay.
This will heal you.
Sometimes
I see what I was trying to do there. I was trying to get out, and then there's somebody in the spot that I wanted to go to, and I wasn't paying attention to the team. And I shouldn't have ever gone over there in the first place. But
so, I believe that so far we've been sometimes a little too focused on DPS, and then that's meaning that we're neglecting teammates who are critical, or teammates that we're not paying attention to teammates and then they end up dying. So that's when we faded over here. Our soldier died, our Ryan died in front of us. A lot of the time we're just kind of missing out on that. And of course, last time I told you to be damaging more and you're healing too much. But you just have to kind of find that nice little balance in between. Where you're paying attention to your team and you're healing them when they need it, and then you're damaging when they don't need it. But at the moment, you kind of went from one direction into leaning into the opposite direction, where now you're damaging too much and not paying attention to what your team's doing. So try to find that nice little kind of middle balance. Heal your team when they need it, pay attention to when they need it, and then damage any other time. Okay, there. Probably don't fade into danger, because what are we very close to right now?
It's capping.
Nope. What are we close to? An ability.
Oh, coalescence.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're 95 to coalescence here. We have a much greater chance of winning this fight here if we get coalescence up and we start using it. And so we have people on point. We have a baby diva and a tracer who can touch. And they also have a full tick to go. If we just spend 2-3 more seconds right-clicking people from the side of the fight, then we get coalescence up, and then that gives us mobility. That gives us self-healing. So it gives us survivability, but then also it gives us more damage to where we can probably burst somebody down faster. So instead of fading onto point here, just sit off point because you're gonna have a greater chance of actually winning this fight if you're getting that call up, because now you're dead instantly. Don't get any value off of that.
30 seconds remaining. Complete.
Yeah.
Score
Yeah.
0-2. Switching sides. Initiating match.
Winston,
Ready
you were
for
never
battle.
frustrated at the restrictions Overwatch placed on your research?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
I think we get our butts handed to us.
Weapon system optimized. Everyone, drink up.
So I went Mercy for. Oh, she must have taken.
She's on Moira, or sorry,
Oh.
she's on break right now.
Oh, I thought because we have dive tanks that Mercy would have been better. That's what I was thinking.
Are you? So are you? Do you typically like if you're like a sorry, blah, 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 words. Are you picking Mercy because that's the only other character that works with dive that you play, or are you picking Mercy because you think that she's the best pick for dive?
It's the only other character I play for. I
For
don't.
dive.
I don't even know who else to play for dive.
So
I've tried to play Moira, and I just can't keep up with the tanks.
yeah, so Ana's decent for dive. Briggs really good for dive. Zenyatta's good for dive, though you might struggle on him a little bit at a lower rank here. I'm not necessarily, because he's more mechanically demanding, and then also you're gonna be kind of easier to kill. So I'd say you can probably Zen if you have a Brig, because Zen Brig is a good combo with dive. Mercy's fine in this scenario, but we have to go over our job here first. As Mercy, our job is no longer to heal the tanks. Healing tanks is not our job. Our job is to pocket DPS. If we are pocketing the DPS, because Mercy doesn't, she has single beam healing. She heals one person at a time.
Right.
She also has a damage boost, so she thrives when she pockets DPS. So going with your soldier or McCree, probably your soldier, you're gonna be getting a lot of value. So if you follow your soldier around, you're gonna get doing your job on Mercy. Stay with the soldier, Brig and Kree as much as possible, and then heal up tanks if they're low.
Okay.
Your tanks are just gonna have a very low healing composition with right now, so they're probably gonna be taking a ton of damage.
Yeah. It didn't go so well.
Let me get you patched up.
I think I ended up switching back to Moira.
Yeah, so
And I'm going for Raze here.
yeah,
Is that
Ana
a-
might be decent here instead. Okay, so here, make sure that we're just, instead of walking through the choke and then
Let me get
flying,
you
we're
patched up.
flying across the choke, because we look at where we're at. Well, by the time we're flying here, we're already
Yeah.
sitting in the middle of the choke. So make sure that we're passing through the choke with our movement ability.
I'm out of here. The battle continues.
Thought I was a gunner.
What am I doing there?
It looks as though maybe you were attempting to res them, or maybe you thought getting into that room would be helpful. But yeah, we're walking in straight lines. We're not paying attention to what's around us.
Yeah.
Make sure we're paying attention to where the enemy's at, where we getting spammed from. Don't just walk in straight lines and look like where you're walking. You can walk to the side.
Join with me. Group up. Join with me.
Starting over
Okay,
from
so we
the
almost
beginning.
have Valkyrie.
Adjust Echo here.
Okay, so now we just got a character swap. Echo is our new main pocket target. She's the one we want to be
Right.
staying with most of the time. She will give us more survivability because of her height, which will allow us to stay out of range for a lot of characters. If we are high up in the sky with an Echo, really the only person on their team who can contest us is now the D.Va. Okay, nobody else can really damage us much.
Damage boost engaged.
So we'll have more survivability, and then we also we help our abilities a lot.
Let's get you back out there.
I'm under attack.
I'm worried about. Yeah. They're just giving us the beat down here.
My ultimate is almost ready.
They're all over me.
Rendezvous at my position.
Let me get you patched up.
Okay. Pocketing tank. We're also on a healing beam on somebody who's full HP, so we're gonna swap the healing here in a second.
Yeah.
So we're on damage. Monkey can't damage unless he's close, so this damage is worthless. Okay. We swap the healing here. Full HP target who we're healing. When there's a soldier and Moira who both need healing.
Let me
Okay.
get you
We swap to
patched
the
up.
Moira. We're not healing anything. Okay, so we're just kind of holding down left click again, target acquisition. So rather than holding down left click here, because you're gonna see we're just holding it down, and then they're gonna move out of our
Let me
screen,
get you patched up.
and then we just stare. Okay, so
Yeah,
as soon as
okay.
Moira leaves our line of sight, we're looking for somebody else to heal.
Oh, this is so painful to watch sometimes.
Activated.
Yeah, but that. See, I've already learned something about Mercy, so that's positive. Yeah.
So here, again, we're healing when people are full HP. When people are full HP, we're looking to either damage boost them or look for somebody else to heal. If we do not see, we can basically, unless we already have somebody kind of in queue for healing, so we're healing and then immediately healing somebody else, we can, as soon as we hear the little ping, swap the damage. So we're gonna heal the echo up, and then you're gonna get a ping when you kind of cap out on the healing.
Yeah, that's funny because I know the ping comes, but I've never associated it with as being an audio cue to just switch.
Yep,
So
it's
that's
when you're
so
done
simple.
healing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, so we're healing people are full, damage boost them, so they're getting more done. Standing still for long periods of time.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Wait,
Just
sorry.
running around like a.
I want to
okay.
watch this tire real quick because that was just kind of funny. Wait, can we spectate from Junkrat's point of
Yeah,
view?
go ahead. Yeah.
Because look, he walks right past you guys, and then dies.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Maybe his mouse broke or something, or
I think
he lagged out.
You know what I think it is? I think it's just bronze being.
Yeah, it's just bronze. Yeah. So when we hear this ultimate, when we hear tire, I went forward too far, but we hear tire.
Yeah,
What we can
freaking
do
out.
is, so we hear get ready for a shock. Okay, we hear that. We
I see
see
it.
it. Yep. We
Yeah.
Valk, and we get high up in the sky, and then he comes for soldier. Even if he doesn't mess up and go into the void because he's bronze, if he doesn't do that, he kills our soldier, but we're out of range, and then we just fly back in and res it. Okay. Here, if this is a gold player or a silver player, and they actually land that, land the tire, then that means that both of us die, and then we lose the fight. If we Valk here, and they do land the tire, then that means that one person dies, and then we res them. So now we're still even, and they just use an ultimate. So in this situation in which they messed up, not if they're a better team, they won't mess up, or a better player, they won't mess up. They messed up, but we could have done something more, and because tire runs past us.
I don't have to play bronze if I'm bronze. I could actually. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't have to.
Okay, we have res, soldier's dead. Go for the res. again, we're on healing when we have a full HP person. So this healing doesn't get value. We can either be looking for somebody else to heal, which if we're looking top left, not a single person on our team needs healing. So right now we're damage boosting, or even better than damage boosting, we're getting off our res on our soldier. So we kind of just say we don't pay attention to the soldier.
Where is he?
He was over here.
Well, yeah, I should have pressed him, obviously. Yeah.
And he died when we were right next to it. So we can just kind of watch this again so you can see it. So we look at him, he dies. We have res from this point on. So for 10 seconds we ignore him.
Where does it hurt?
Because I'm looking at everybody here on the left.
Okay.
I know
Here,
if I'm going to res them with everybody there.
here I want to talk about a camera angle real quick. Okay. This
Okay.
is not a very good camera angle. We're not going to get a lot done with this camera angle. Just look how limited your view is.
Right.
We can only really see what's directly ahead of us. So back up here. We're standing still. Even if we're valking, if we're standing still, that means it's easy for people to shoot us. Make sure we're I didn't even know it was possible to fly still. We're flying still. Just kind of sitting there. Drop lower to the ground here as they go inside. So we want to be backing up and dropping lower so that we can get more of a vantage point, and then also healing them on the inside. Because Reinhardt's out of our LOS and Reinhardt's critical, so we want to be dropping the helper Reinhardt, and then our Echo's on the inside too. So if they're on the inside, we want to be dropping the help them out.
Thanks.
I need a help restore.
Let's get you back in the
I
fight.
need a help restore.
Damage increased. Let me get you patched up. Going.
Okay.
And once again, healing somebody that has full health.
Yeah. Well, in that situation, it was more about getting in line of sight of the Echo, because it looked like you were it looked like you knew that she needed healing. You just weren't getting into her line of sight fast enough. Okay. Real quick, are you on Overwatch right now, or do you have access to open up Overwatch?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think I'm on.
on Mercy, which I know, is there any more custom settings? No, there's not. Okay. So on Mercy, you're gonna have a wide variety of custom settings that you can alter.
Okay.
Were you aware of this just before we start off?
Yes, but I don't play Mercy that often, so I haven't
Alright.
opened it.
So, just to start off here, good ones to change: Guardian Angel sensitivity and Beam sensitivity. The lower it is, the more accurate it will be to your crosshair. The higher it is, the more leniency it'll give you. But that will also mean that in large groups of people, it will be very difficult to acquire a specific target. So if you're trying to heal somebody, or you're trying to fly to somebody in a large group of people, somebody else might steal the heal or the fly. Okay.
Right.
Some other things here like toggle beam connection, I'd probably say put off. It's better to have it on hold down. And then you probably just have all three of those off. But just I would put it somewhere around what I have. Not you can toy with it a little bit, but the big things I was looking at is the sensitivity, because that way you can actually get to the Echo faster.
Yeah, it's default. Do I have raise here? Resurrect?
Nope, you can see at the bottom right. If you just whenever you're thinking.
Okay, yeah.
If you're thinking about going for a res because you see teammates died, we need to be glancing at our abilities just real quick, okay? We
Yeah.
can't just assume that we have it unless we
Right,
know
well,
that
I
we
couldn't. You had your and your,
Damage increased.
so I couldn't see it.
No, I'm just talking in game here.
Oh.
So Echo's up in the sky. Us flying up to Echo is going to give us more survivability because we're up in the air, and then also gives us more visibility because we can kind of look down at the fight.
Yeah.
We're walking in a straight line here. I think we attempt to go for a res there.
And it's not ready.
Nope, and it's not ready.
Because I obviously that's what I was thinking about doing, and I didn't look down at my
Yep.
UI. So.
Okay, we get Lucio's on top of us. Okay. Unless we're pulling out our pistol here to shoot at the Lucio, looking back at him doesn't do us any value. Yeah.
Right.
So if our goal is to just get away from him and heal, then there's no reason to turn back around. Okay, we also don't acquire the right target here. Who needs healing? Out of these
Reinhardt.
two, yeah, Reinhardt. And we take too long to get over to him.
Yeah, I think if I'm gonna play Mercy, I need to, I don't know, at least get used to her kit
Yep.
and go to quick play for a while. Yeah. But the everything that you've said so far is
60 seconds.
yeah, makes complete sense.
Ah, the wonders
I'm
of
actually
modern
glad we got to
medicine.
look at Mercy. 'Cause
Uh-huh.
now yeah.
Yeah, let's move it, people. Raising the volume.
Before we're swapping to get back to a fight. Actually, no, never mind. I missed somebody there. Okay,
Did I switch to Lucio?
Yeah, we
I
did.
did. Okay.
So with Lucio, wall riding. So with
Huh.
I think I might just yeah, okay. We'll just go with this. Okay. Wall riding. When you wall ride, you get faster movement speed, so you will be getting back to point faster.
Okay.
A very easy way to wall ride is just to move your camera. We can actually we have 4 minutes left. So 12:08 if we get back in time. Okay, we're gonna go over Mercy and Lucio Tech here. So a very easy way to move around as Lucio is to
Come on, let's put it together.
just spam jump is the first thing. Just you constantly hold, like, just kind of click it, and then the other thing is that when you're coming on the walls, you're just gonna move around while using your camera. So we're gonna fly here.
Nothing's gonna
We're just
stop
gonna kind of go. So we're spamming right click and using our camera to go from place to place. Okay. Sorry,
And you're
something-
spamming jump too at the same time.
Yep, I'm spamming jump. Oh, sorry, I said right click. I have my jump and right click here. For Lucio at least. So we're just gonna spam our right click while we're going around here, and then we're just constantly gonna be on the walls here. Of course, my wall riding's a little bit rusty at the moment, but okay.
Yeah, it looks great compared to mine. Trust me.
That's gonna
But-
give us a faster movement speed and let us get around more, more here. Okay. And then we can hold down right click if we need to.
I did go in and I turned on backwards wall riding.
Yep.
Is that bad or good?
That's good. That doesn't really.
get
That
you healed
is
up.
only a benefit. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Other thing here, so we're gonna
I'll
Mercy
be
super
watching
jump.
over you.
So, if you.
I don't know how to super jump.
Yep, that's what
Good,
we're gonna. That's
good,
how. Yep.
Good.
What we're gonna go over. So, to get to high grounds such as that or this, what we're gonna do is press Shift. So we're gonna press fly and crouch at the exact same time. Okay, and then
Okay.
once we get up right next to them, we're gonna see that we stop momentarily. So so we're gonna fly and shift. So it's gonna look like this. We're gonna go low to the ground.
Right
You see how we go
beside
low
you.
to the ground there?
Yep.
So we're gonna go low to the ground, and then once we get up to them, watch what happens. We kind of stop there. So once you get to that stop range, you're gonna press spacebar, which will send you flying up in the air. Okay.
Oh wow.
So you hold both shift and crouch at the same time.
I'm
You
here.
stop, you press jump. Okay. That will give us
Okay.
access to the high ground tier. If you want to go forward a little bit more than just going straight up, you press jump a little bit earlier, which will send us flying forward more than just the regular jump up here. So if we're trying to get up to that high ground, we might want to kind of time it in the middle. So we can fly over here,
Right.
back them up. Okay.
Your support has arrived.
If we're looking to go past people to get extra movement speed, we can just what we do is we fly and then press space without the crouch and just press space at the end, so we can actually go past them and then get more movement speed.
Okay.
Other thing is just keep in mind how far the distance is. We can fly from a pretty far distance here. We can fly from right about, how far away can we fly? That's kind of weird actually. Wait, can you? Oh, that's our beam distance, I think. So yeah, we can fly from like back here.
Right.
beside you.
Okay, so just keep in mind that distance is really far. So we can fly to people
I'm
from really
taking
far
care of
away.
you.
So we can get a lot of movement in just by doing things like this.
Okay. When you slingshot off the target, do you let go and lock onto another target, or
You can. What you do is let go of which shift
Let
or
go- shift?
jump. you're gonna hold it in the whole time.
Okay.
If you let go of shift, you don't
stop.
really. You stop the animation. And you just kind of float. So I'm gonna let go of shift here.
Hit the space bar, jump. And,
Yeah. So you just kind of
and
hover. Once you
unacquire the target.
what?
Let go of the target. Stop.
You just once you get there, you just press jump. And we're just gonna press jump, and we're gonna go past them.
I'm here.
Okay.
So that pretty much wraps up the time that we have for this session. I'm gonna close out of the recording.